The most powerful aliens in Star Trek, ranked. The Star Trek universe is filled with aliens who can bend reality, destroy civilizations, or manipulate time itself. Some are playful tricksters while others are terrifying cosmic forces. Let's rank the most powerful beings in Star Trek history and see who truly rules the stars. Number 1. Q Continuum. If there's one alien species in Star Trek that truly feels like gods, it's the Q. They can do anything: change reality, teleport across the galaxy, travel through time, or even wipe out entire planets with a snap of their fingers. But for all their power, the Q has one big problem: they're bored. The Q live in a mysterious place called the Q Continuum, where they've existed for so long that nothing excites them anymore. That's why some of them, like the mischievous Q who tormented Captain Picard, entertain themselves by interfering in the affairs of lesser beings. Picard and his crew first met Q when he put humanity on trial, claiming they were too dangerous. But deep down, the Q actually feared humans, worried that one day they might become powerful enough to challenge them. Despite their godlike abilities, the Q isn't completely unstoppable. They have rules, and if they break them, the Continuum punishes them, sometimes by exile, sometimes by turning them mortal. Even with infinite power, they aren't all-knowing, and their arrogance has led to surprises, rebellions, and even war. Number 2. The Dowd. Some aliens in Star Trek are powerful, but the Dowd, they're on a whole different level. These ancient godlike beings can create illusions so perfect they feel real, change their shape into anything, and even wipe out an entire species with a single thought. But here's the twist: they don't like using their powers. One Dowd, named Kevin Uxbridge, lived as a simple human, falling in love and settling down. He had a strict rule: never kill. But when a brutal alien race attacked and murdered his wife, grief and rage took over. In a single moment, without even thinking, he completely erased their entire species from existence. Just like that. Gone forever. Even the Q might struggle to match that kind of raw power. Beyond this, Douwd are immortal beings of pure energy, but they can look like anything they want. For some reason, this one Douwd chose to live among humans for thousands of years, blending in. Their only weakness? They can't bring back the dead. But with abilities like theirs, they don't need many limits. Number 3. The Thasians. Thasians don't even have bodies, just pure energy with minds so powerful they can control reality itself. They usually stay hidden, and for a long time, people thought they were just a myth. But when a boy named Charlie Evans crash-landed on their planet, the Thasians changed everything. Instead of letting Charlie die, they gave him some of their psychic powers so he could survive alone. When Starfleet finally rescued him years later, they had no idea what he had become. Charlie could make people disappear, control minds, and bend reality with just a thought. But power like that? It's dangerous. He started using it on the Enterprise crew, making people suffer just to get his way. Before things got even worse, the Thasians appeared, reversing all the damage Charlie had done. Captain Kirk begged them to let Charlie stay with humans, but they refused. He would never stop using his powers. So, with a flash, they took him back to their mysterious world, never to be seen again. Number 4. The Prophets, wormhole aliens. The Prophets are mysterious, godlike beings who live inside the Bajoran wormhole. They don't experience time the way humans do. Past, present, and future all exist at once for them. Emotions and human concepts like love or war don't make sense to them, yet they have a deep connection to Bajor and its people. When they communicate, the Prophets take the form of familiar faces, pulling images from someone's mind to send cryptic messages. They don't fight wars with weapons, but change destiny itself. During the Dominion War, they erased an entire enemy fleet from existence, proving they could alter reality whenever they wished. But not all prophets are benevolent. Some were exiled and became the Pa-wraiths, trapped in Bajor's fire caves. Both groups can take over living beings, turning them into powerful hosts capable of unleashing devastating energy. While nearly unstoppable, the prophets do have one weakness: chronoton radiation, which can push them out of a body or even harm them. Still, with their ability to control time and fate, they're among the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Number 5. The Organians. When Captain Kirk and Spock first met the Organians, they looked like simple villagers, completely unbothered by a Klingon invasion. Kirk tried to help them fight back, but the Organians didn't seem to care. Then, just as Kirk and Spock were about to be tortured, something shocking happened. The Organians freed them without even lifting a finger. That's when they revealed the truth. The Organians weren't really human at all. They were ancient, godlike beings who had evolved beyond physical bodies millions of years ago. They didn't need weapons or armies. They could control both the Federation and the Klingons with just a thought. With their powers, they forced both sides into peace and even hinted that one day these two enemies would become allies. Long before this, the Organians had already been watching humanity. When they tested Captain Archer's crew by exposing them to a deadly virus, they couldn't help but interfere, secretly saving lives. They claim to avoid meddling, but when it comes to humans, they always step in. Number 6. Species 8472. Species 8472 isn't just powerful, they're terrifying. These massive, three-legged creatures have razor-sharp claws, telepathic abilities, and one goal, wiping out anything they see as weak. Even the Borg, who fear nothing, were helpless against them. The Borg had to beg Voyager for help just to survive. Living in a strange realm called fluidic space, Species 8472 saw other life forms as filthy and unworthy. When the Borg invaded their territory, they decided to purge the entire Milky Way galaxy. Their bioships, made of living material, were nearly indestructible, and just 8 of them working together could destroy a whole planet. But they weren't just about war. Some of them, after disguising themselves as humans and Vulcans, started appreciating art, music, and culture. With advanced genetic engineering, they could perfectly mimic other species, even needing food and sleep like them. They also mastered holograms and particle synthesis. In the end, despite their brutality, they proved they were more than just unstoppable monsters. Number 7. The Kelvans. The Kelvans aren't just aliens. They're conquerors from another galaxy. These massive beings from the Andromeda Galaxy were once huge, tentacled creatures, twice the size of a Klingon, with super-intelligent minds that could control hundreds of limbs at once. But emotions? They had none. To them, all other species were weak and meant to be ruled. When their home galaxy faced deadly radiation, the Kelvans sent ships to claim new worlds. One crew reached the Milky Way but got trapped by a powerful energy barrier, losing their ship. Stranded, they transformed into humanoid bodies, blending in while planning their takeover. Their technology was beyond anything the Federation had seen. They could paralyze enemies with a touch or shrink people into tiny solid blocks. But Kirk and his crew had a trick up their sleeves. By introducing the Kelvans to human emotions, love, laughter, even jealousy, he convinced them to give up conquest and stay in the Federation. Turns out, even galactic conquerors can't resist a little fun. Number 8. The Founders, Changelings. The Changelings are the ultimate shapeshifters of the Star Trek universe. In their natural form, they look like a puddle of liquid, but they can transform into anything: a person, an animal, even a rock. Their ability to blend in made them the perfect spies, slipping into enemy empires like the Klingons and Romulans, secretly weakening them for an invasion. But the Changelings didn't just want control, they wanted total order. They created the Dominion, a brutal empire that crushed any resistance. To them, individuality was useless. Their true home was the Great Link, a vast ocean of liquid changelings where they merged together, sharing thoughts and emotions as one being. Not all changelings agreed, though. Odo, a changeling raised by Bajorans, chose to live among solids, taking a humanoid form to fit in. But even he struggled with his nature. Were the changelings conquerors, or just a species desperate for unity? Either way, their powers made them nearly unstoppable. Number 9. The Talosians. Next up, the Talosians are some of the most dangerous aliens in Star Trek. Not because they fight, but because they control your mind. These big-brained beings from Talos 4 can create illusions so powerful that reality becomes meaningless. They don't need weapons. They can trap you in a dream world forever. Thousands of years ago, they destroyed their planet in endless wars. Instead of rebuilding, they escaped into their own minds, using their psychic powers to live in perfect fantasy. But their addiction to illusions made them weak. They needed other species to survive. That's when they started kidnapping people, searching for a species they could turn into their servants. When they captured Captain Pike, they tried to break him, but he fought back. In the end, they realized humans would never be controlled. Even though they stayed hidden, their power remained unmatched. One thought, and they could crush a starship like an insect. Number 10. The Medusans. Some aliens in Star Trek are so powerful that just looking at them will drive you insane. The Medusans are one of those species. They have no bodies, no faces, and no eyes, just pure energy floating in space. But their appearance is so disturbing that most humanoids go completely mad if they see them. Even their reflection can shatter a person's mind. Instead of speaking, Medusans communicate telepathically, reading thoughts and sharing ideas instantly. They don't live alone, but as part of a massive hive mind, thinking as one. Their minds are so advanced that they are the best navigators in the galaxy, guiding ships through the deepest corners of space. The Medusan Kolos once helped Spock steer the Enterprise home, but the Vulcan nearly lost his mind after seeing him. More recently, the Medusan Zero broke free from captivity and used their powers to make their enemies go insane. If you love powerful aliens in Star Trek, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Which alien species do you think is the strongest? Let us know below.